John Clark has created this amazing community that that is highly sensitive to and aware of the voice of the customer and highly responsive to our requests. And the town halls are interactions directly between us as the users and the developers, the product managers. And that's a great opportunity to provide feedback to the product managers. The other system that's in place is the ideas board. And so once someone suggests an idea on the ideas board, the developers look at those ideas and they say, yes, this is something that needs to be identified, that needs to be resolved because it's a gap in the way the system currently works. Typically, it's not a hard number, but if an idea on the ideas board gets over 100 votes, then the product managers definitely look at it and then they do their assessment of where it fits in their roadmap of future development. Just because it never gets to 100 votes doesn't mean it's not worthy of consideration. And so sometimes ideas will get implemented with less than 10 votes, often with the mid double digits, 30 to 60 votes. And an idea will get implemented because it's a valid idea. So what I'm going to demonstrate today is what I call the ideas board's finds. And this is what I've detected happens often with suggestions on the ideas board. Someone will be working in HighLevel and they'll encounter an issue and they'll realize that it's a systemic issue that needs to be addressed in the platform. And they'll go over to ideas.gohighlevel.com and they'll probably search, but they'll search for that idea based on their term for that idea. They won't find it, and so they'll make a new suggestion to request that particular issue. The problem is they just use their terms, and someone else already wrote basically the same idea. They just used a different term to describe it. And so what will end up happening is you'll have 4 or 5 or 6 different ideas that each one have mid double digits, 15, 20, 25, 50 votes. None of them has the 100 vote threshold, but all of them together do have 100, 150, 120 votes. And so my ideas board's finds video series is literally when I find a suggestion on the ideas board that has multiple copies that are effectively the same thing. Not literally the same thing, because if it was literally the same thing, then it would be they would have found each other already and they would have merged it. But the issue is there's no person at HighLevel that's managing the ideas board in total. One of the reasons that often these ideas end up on the board multiple times is people encounter the problem in different, or interpret the problem in different ways. And the board itself is structured. Actually, that's where I'm going to start. The board itself is structured in product manager teams. And so the product manager for Conversation AI, for example, never looks in the suggestion list for the dashboard. But if someone was dealing with the dashboard and realized there's something that needs to happen with Conversation AI, they might, in fact, make it a dashboard suggestion, but the actual implementation is a Conversation AI implementation. Meanwhile, Conversation AI, someone's commented over there, and now you have these two ideas. One has 20, 25 votes, the other has 40, 50 votes. Together, they have 80 or 90 votes. but they aren't merged. So that's one of the reasons that these things happen. It's not a criticism of the ideas board system. It's not a criticism of anybody that's doing that's making posts on the ideas board. It's literally just this is how this is the gap in the system, the way it's designed. And so because I'm who I am, and I take some things that really probably aren't all that important, and I take them personally, I've taken it upon myself to do this little things. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's let's share the whole screen. You can see my tabs, but you can't see any URLs that aren't. Oh, no, that's not the way I want to do that. Stop that share. Share the screen, but I want to do as background. Okay, so perfect. So it should be, yeah, over my shoulder somewhere behind me. And now, interestingly, it's putting me up in the upper corner, and I don't know why. Maybe it's a restriction of live streaming. So now it's down there somewhere. So this is the ideas board, and it's structured by product manager team. So if you're the project manager team for widgets, you would only look at these 91 suggestions. If you're a QR codes guy, you would only look at these 76 suggestions. But there may very well be in the ad reporting a comment regarding QR codes. In this case, this request is in reputation management, but this one is in automations. And so here's the issue, or the example that we're going to use today. We had a recent release that says we have a workflow trigger for when a Facebook or Google review is published on our site. And we can have actions taken by our system in a workflow based on the fact that we had this trigger. This is the important part. The review received trigger is contactless. It doesn't look for and find the email address of the person who gave the review and attribute that review to a person in our database or create the person in our database. It only automates the reaction to the review itself. This is, I'm convinced, I'm pretty sure, it's a limitation of the API because both Google and Facebook don't release the email address that's behind the person that left the review. So this is a totally reasonable solution, and this restriction is what it is. That doesn't stop the fact that there's these other requests on the board suggesting that we would love to have it not be restricted to contactless. We would love to have it contact. Here's 12. And if I'd done this, here's 33, 4, 14. So if I'd done this right, I would have done the math before I got on here. 14, 4, 33, clear. So I come up with 63 votes for between these three. This one's in the reputation management. It only has 12 votes. Detects when a contact has left a review. So the issue is that we're trying to have review. I'm missing one. But, oh, this is the one that was completed with 428 votes, which led to this changelog implementation. This is awesome. 428 votes. Awesome. these other ones say we'd still like to track it by the person. And so my ideas board find system is I come through here like this. I record, hey, I found this suggestion on the ideas board, but it happens to have these multiple other versions of it. This is when I contact this. Add review completed or not completed. Well, I have that one. That's this one. And we have this one. That's the one 33. Perfect. Okay. And then what I will do is I will make one of these is not here. 2 new review. Work culture, someone leaving a review. See. Double check. Add review, complete or not completed to trigger. So, nope, we got that one. Left. And someone leaving a Google review. That's the one we're missing. Typically, I will do these on whichever one has the most votes. So this one has 33. That's the one with the most votes. So let's make sure. Review left. And what I'm trying to do is make it easy for HighLevel's staff to consolidate these and find all 63 votes on the expansion of the idea. I think that's good enough for today. And typically these go a lot quicker than what I've done here because I've typically pre-planned what I'm going to say, and I'm not trying to describe the process of and the why behind what I'm doing when I do an ideas board find. I'm simply executing my ideas board find. How are we doing all the time? So I've been here about 30 minutes, and I'm going to switch back over to Facebook, see myself live. I'm going to do a refresh. I'm going to stop sharing. I will do a clip of that ideas board find. I'll put that on my YouTube. But it was a thing that I could demonstrate today while I'm live on the Q&A session. If no one happened to want to jump into the Q&A session and ask a question. So I just check again, and I see no one in making comments. No one in my messenger. I got an answer back. I had asked a question of somebody, and his response was, why? And I didn't really have a good question other than the question I asked was more personal than the normal way I would ask it. And so my only reason was it seemed like a more interesting question. Interestingly enough, I got a more interesting answer because I asked a more interesting question. I was taught by a gentleman named H.R. Huntsman, founder of Leader's Edge. Connection through curiosity. The challenge to you is ask better questions. Ask better questions, learn better things, build deeper connections, build deeper relationships. I ask a deeper question, I got a deeper answer. Actually, I think I'm going to share this. It is public. It's a public post. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen because this is directly addressing the issue that GHL Business Launch exists to address. So we're going to do screen one. We're going to do that. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and leave it full screen again. Sure. Okay. So there's two different versions here. This guy is saying, Devon Angle is saying, I've heard that most high-level agencies call themselves full service. I would say not most agencies. The agencies that are marketing agencies, what I would call Business Models 5 and Business Model 6, would call themselves a full service agency, or they might call themselves a social media management, SMMA agency, or they might call themselves an SEO agency, or they not most of the I disagree with the premise. Even most of the ones that are agencies, I don't think most call themselves full service. I think many call themselves full service. Others say we do a particular thing, and some of them are niched. We do a particular thing for a particular industry. Others say I'm a full service agency for a particular thing. On the other side of the equation are SaaS and SwaS, what I call Business Models 3 and Business Models 4. Software as a service and software with a service don't call themselves full service unless they do. And if they do, that's part of the problem. And it's a topic that I'm specifically addressing on Monday this next week in our live training. If you are only offering a productized service, either SaaS or SwaS, and yet anywhere in your marketing it sounds like you might possibly be doing full service, this creates the friction of the perception on the client's mind is that you are their marketing person and you're going to do these full service agency kinds of services, and you're pricing it as a productized service because in your mind it's constrained to just this thing. So I disagree with the perspective that's shown on the screen here. I don't think that most high-level agencies are calling themselves full service. I think many are calling themselves full service, and others are implying that they're full service. But there are an equal number. I don't know what the numbers are. There's a equally large percentage who don't call themselves full service. They are niched either by industry or by service or both. And some of them are agencies and some of them are SaaS and SwaS providers. And they're still not doing what is being suggested here. So I think I disagree with the conclusion, with the thesis, I get the point, and I agree with the point, because in all of those cases, in all four of those cases, the point Devon Angle's making here is they can't name what they offer that the other people who are positioned just like they are offering. What we're trying to help with GHL Business Launch is, how do you position yourself uniquely for a particular client profile that allows you to differentiate yourself, so that you're not doing that, you're not presenting the issue that is indicated by this particular social media post. So now I have to figure out how I want to write this response, but I'm not going to write that live while talking. I'm responding to another one of Devon Angle's, actually a more recent post by Devon Angle as well. In this one, I'm agreeing with him 100%. 100%. Too many product developers are solving the problem they want the customer to have, not the problem the prospect actually has. And they are describing the problem in their developer terms, not in the prospect's operational terms.